Hello my gorgeous plant people, welcome back to Reading Mindfully. My name is Ayana, and today I am showing you all the plants that I kicked out of my house. So stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So like I said, I'm showing you some plants that I kicked out of my house. I basically just got fed up with some of these plants and I put their, I'm not gonna cuss, but I put their behinds outside. Sometimes, you know, you deal with plants and you have plants that are just struggling, and most of these plants I've had since last summer. I got them during, you know, the quarantine and everything, and they are just still not doing what I think that they should be doing, or I feel like they should be doing. You know, we're not on the same page. And so I put their behinds outside because that's usually my last resort. If I bump up the light, if I bump up humidity, if I'm doing the watering and you're still not acting right, then your behind goes outside. I mean, these plants take up a lot of real estate and they don't pay rent, they don't pay utilities, and all I ask for them is to do a little bit of growing, and when they can't meet those needs, then Mother Nature just deals with the rest. So I'm going to show you a couple plants that are giving me a hard time, and most of them are Antheriums. I do have a couple more that are outside, but they're not really like ones that give me a hard time. They're just ones that I just wanted to boost a little bit of light. But so my first plant is my Antherium Plumani. I got this from Plant Arena when my mom ordered hers, and basically I think the issue with this plant was that I did check the roots, and this plant was severely root bound, and I had to like pull the roots away from each other just so that they would get some water, because the plant was getting watered but it wasn't really reaching the roots. And so when I did, you know, pull the roots apart and put water directly on the roots started to turn green like orchids do. And so I think this plant was just, it was just not getting enough water, and then it wasn't getting enough light. So I just stuck it outside, and just within a couple days, it already started putting out this new leaf here, if you can see that. And it's putting out some growth here and here, so it's really starting to take off now. And I think that, you know, really getting a big boost in light is really going to help this plant succeed, as well as me, you know, making sure that I'm watering it correctly. The Antheriums are like plants that do need a little bit more moisture than some of my other plants, like my Philodendron and my Monstera. And so, like my ferns and my Calathea, I do have to keep, you know, on top of these to make sure they're watered. So this is the first plant, my Antherium Plumani. And really it didn't do any growing until I put it outside. So the second plant is my Antherium Bti. This plant is just the slowest growing plant that I have. I think it's only grown like 2 leaves since I've had it, and I've had this one since like last June or last something like that. It's just a slow grower. It did put out these little baby leaves too, which, I mean, it's cute and everything, but I want bigger leaves. And so I did put this one outside. I think I only put this one outside like a couple days ago, and it's already shooting out this leaf, which I'm really happy with, because I think I got 1 leaf this whole year. So yeah. So I'm really happy that it's putting out this leaf. It does have some ribbing, and so basically all my Antheriums are going to be outside all summer. And you know, if they grow, I'm really happy. If they don't grow, I'm going to rethink their living conditions in my home. They might have to be rehomed, because like I said, these plants are taking up precious real estate. I'm giving them good lighting, and I'm not going to keep stressing myself out if these plants don't want to grow for me. If they just want to, you know, sit on the shelf and be in limbo mode. That's not what I'm willing to do at this point in my plant journey. The next Antherium, you guys would have seen my Antherium Forgetty Eye. It's put out a couple leaves. It had a major tantrum this winter. I think one day my humidity did drop below 50%, and it just had a really big tantrum. And so I put his behind outside, and look what it did. It put this leaf out in just a couple of days, and that leaf is huge. If you can see comparison to my head, see, they can act right when they want to. And so if I bring the plant in closely, you do see some speckling on the leaves. This speckling, when it's all over the leaf, that's inconsistent watering, especially for anthuriums. Now, if the speckling was like patterned on the edge, then you would know you might have a pest issue. But since it's like all over the leaf, that's letting me know that I didn't water this plant properly. But hey, we are moving in the right direction. The plant has given me some growth. It has given me a decent sized leaf. And so, like I said, I'm gonna just keep them outside, you know, survival of the fittest kind of thing, and see how it goes. And it is giving a little bit of growth here. I'm not sure if it's going to be a flower or, you know, like a bloom or another leaf, but like I said, we're moving in the, you know, right direction. Now you can see some of these leaves will have a little bit of damage on them. I don't really care about damage. I mean, plants, like I said, they're not perfect in nature. Why would I expect them to be perfect in my environment, especially outside? And we've had strong winds, we've had rain, we've had thunderstorms. So if a plant has a little bit of damage, I don't really care about it. As long as it's going to do something, then that's all I'm worried about. So that's the next plant. This plant here is my little mammy. Now, if you guys have followed me, you've guys pretty much known that I've struggled with this plant almost ever since I've gotten it. And so it put out this leaf when I put it outside. You can see it's really deformed. But this leaf is it's promising. It's promising. It did have that really long leaf, which has since died. Here it is. So I think I'm hoping that we're gonna be right this time. But like I said, I've started this mammy, I don't know, this is probably the third time that I've started this mammy, and so I'm not really holding my breath right now. It does have another piece of growth here, if you can see that. And so, like I said, I think we're starting off great, but we will continue to watch this plant and see what it does. I don't know, I think after this summer, if it doesn't really respond well, then I might have to say goodbye to the mammy, just because I've started it over so many times and I've cut it back so many times. I don't know. I'm kind of tired with this plant, even though it is a really beautiful philodendron and I really would love it to have it in my collection. But, you know, if it doesn't want to be with me, then we'll have to say goodbye. And the last plant is one of the plants that is the bane of my existence. This is my philodendron. This is my philodendron Florida Ghost. Now, this plant can be a very beautiful plant. It can be a very beautiful plant. However, this plant just drops leaves like it's nobody's business. If you can see all these like white marks on the stem, that's a section where a leaf fell off. I think I've lost 1, 2, 3, about four leaves on this plant, and the reason why this plant keeps losing leaves is because they come out really white or creamy like this. And I had it here. If you the last couple of videos, I had it there. It's been under my sandy light. Well, as soon as another leaf comes out, the leaves spread out. So if the leaf is not under the sandy light, it turns brown instantly and falls off. And that's what happened with this plant. It just had two white leaves other than this one, and they just fell off. They're actually outside on my patio. But this plant is just the bane of my existence. And the thing that drives me nuts about this plant is that everybody loves this plant and says how fast of a grower it is, how beautiful it is, how easy it is. This plant has not been easy for me. And I feed it because this is a feeder. It does like a lot of fertilizer. And my issue is that the white leaves do not fade down to green. I have not had one leaf that has faded down to green, and for sure that is the reason why this plant struggles, because there's not enough green leaves and the white is not enough to sustain itself. When you have really white leaves, they need a lot more light to sustain the white, because there's no green, there's no chlorophyll to keep the plant alive. And so I saw that people were having problems with this plant on Instagram, and they were thinking that humidity was an issue. Humidity is not the issue if your white leaves are turning brown and falling off. It's the lighting. Like I said, they need really bright light in order to maintain the white leaves, and as soon as you don't have that lighting on the leaf, they'll brown up and fall off. And so that's what keeps happening to this plant. And even under my sandy light, with the direction of how the leaves are going, it's not enough coverage to maintain the white leaves. So I put it outside. And now this new leaf here has a strip of green. So I'm thinking that maybe with natural lighting that I will get some more greener leaves. I think maybe that the artificial lighting is just too much light, and that's why I'm getting a lot of bright white leaves. And so I'm thinking that maybe if I leave it outside in natural lighting, I'll get more greener leaves. I'll get more leaves with more green in them, so that way they'll be able to sustain themselves. And so I'm going to do a little experiment on that to see if natural lighting will be better for this plant, better than artificial lighting. And so I will definitely keep you guys updated to see if that really works, because I'm leaving this plant outside all summer. I just don't have the mental capacity to have this under my grow light and then just seeing leaf after leaf fall off. It hurts my soul, and I can't. So those are some of the plants that I put outside because I just couldn't deal. There is one more plant. I have Anthurium Metallicum, and it just put out this really long leaf, and there was like a big hole in there, and I literally just went out to go get it, and half of the leaf, is gone. So I'm not even going to show that one because half the leaf is not there, so that's irrelevant. But at least it put out a nice new leaf, because I haven't had a new leaf on that plant since I bought it. And again, I bought that one last summer, so at least it grew something. But like I said, half the leaf is gone because of the wind. So with putting plants outside, yes, you are taking a risk, but if your plants aren't doing anything indoors, then you really don't have anything to lose. So it's all a chance. But I love putting my plants outside. I feel like plants are meant to be put outside, and so if I can put my plants outside, I will. And I feel like that's why I have a lot of growth in my plants, because I do give them that break, during the year where they can just go outside, have that fresh air, natural lighting, all that, and they seem to really enjoy it. So If you guys have any plants you're struggling with or you're thinking you're gonna put outside, please put it in the comment section. Or if you guys have any funny stories about your plants, put them in the comment section, because I'm very interested to know. And I will be doing a video about my favorite Etsy stores or where I buy my plants online, and where I got my prayer plants, because you guys have been asking. And normally I wouldn't do a video like that, or I would wait until I did a couple orders from that shop, just because I don't just want to do one order and be like, oh, I love this shop based off of one experience. Is kind of weird. But since you guys have been asking, I can do the video, just take it with a grain of salt, you know. But yeah, so those are some videos that are coming up. I'm going to do my plant tour, and I'm probably going to put my plants outside for the summer. I'm believing next week, because I think we're going to be good in temperature, at least over 50 degrees. And so if they're over 50 degrees, those suckers are going outside. And so yeah, so those are the next couple videos that are coming up. As always, I want to thank you guys so much for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And if you hit the notification bell, you'll be aware every time I upload a new video. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.